I'm Sharon Barnes-Waters, and welcome to City Views, a show about people, places, and things that make New York great. Well, this New Yorker has been blazing trails in the music and entertainment industry. She was a former Wilhelmina model, and in 2006, a t-shirt imprint grew into a movement, into an empowering organization, and an awards show. I want to welcome the fabulous, the very fierce founder of Black Girls Rock, Beverly Bond. Welcome, Beverly.
Thank you.
Welcome. You've got a lot of awards yourself, a lot of accolades, but I'm going to read something that 2 magazines said about you that is so true. Ebony named you as one of the most influential blacks in America, and you were recognized as one of Essence magazine's 40 fierce and fabulous women who are changing the world. Did you set out to change the world?
You know, I think that we all have something inside us that makes us want to change or make the world a better place. You know, certainly I believe that. I didn't know how I was going to do that, but you know, when I started Black Girls Rock, I knew that this was going to matter so much.
Because it started out as a t-shirt imprint. Tell me about that into this empowerment.
It was all of the things. I actually started all of it. I started it at the same time. So the idea was that the idea was initially a t-shirt, like Black Girls Rock would be a cool t-shirt, and I immediately started writing out the names of women who rock from history, from past to present. And as I started writing those names out, it dawned on me, it was like an epiphany that happened in one moment, that this is way bigger than a t-shirt. It was almost like the women who I wrote the names were talking to me. And I was like, this is actually an affirmation that we all need, that we need to hear, because Black women have not heard this affirmation, and we need to hear it.
Were you growing up, were you always confident in who you were as a Black girl, or did you evolve? What was it around you, women around you?
So that's interesting, because I wasn't confident as a person, only because I moved a lot, but I was always confident in my Blackness.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? I always embraced that part of me. So moving a lot and being a new kid in school, that was a part of that caused me to have this extreme introvertedness. I was never part of a crowd because I was always moving. And so that part definitely made an insecurity. But what I was comfortable with and very secure with was me being a Black person and understanding something, you know, from what my mother taught me about our culture, and knowing more than what was taught in schools, because my mother made sure of that.
Was there any backlash when you said Black Girls Rock instead of Girls Rock?
Yes, absolutely.
What was it?
I ignored it.
What was the backlash? Because
I mean, there was tons of Black backlash, and especially, you know, when we took the show to BET, it was, you know, the award show was happening for 4 years prior. And it wasn't as, you know, there wasn't as much of a backlash. But when we went to television, certainly there were a lot of people who were tuning in and saying, you know, it was racist and it was not inclusive. And I'm like, well, the world is not inclusive of us, so that doesn't make any sense. And then when Michelle Obama came on, of course, there was backlash. There was tons of backlash to her. There was backlash to Rihanna last year. So there's been some kind of, there's this kind of, people think that they can dictate our narratives. And they've been used to doing it. And so they think they can decide who we are and how we empower ourselves.
So your organization, tell me about the girls that come in. Where do they come from? What's the age range for these
So in
girls?
the program, so we have, you know, we have the award show, and then we have the mentoring programs. And those girls are 13 to 17, and I decided to do that in addition to the award show, because I felt like it's important for us as a community to come together and be the village and help mentor our girls. And so I bring in speakers from all over. You know, we have empowering workshops and programs, and really just kind of bringing this community of young girls together, and they all are kind of connected in their goal to empower themselves and their way to change the world. And
I have to ask you this, because in our community, then how do you empower girls in our community that have to deal with the issues then of the shades of color in our community,
yeah.
and the hair, and how do we deal with that within our community, empowering our girls and say, listen, no matter what shade of beautiful
Right.
black you are,
And I think
you are beautiful, powerful, and smart.
I think it starts with all of those things, and I think it starts with the affirmation. And I knew that black girls rock. I wasn't toning it down.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've had people approach me and say, you know, Beverly, can you start Brown Girls Rock? And I'm like, Black Girls Rock includes all of us. It doesn't matter what country you come from.
Right.
It's all of us. It's all of us, you know. And so I think that in itself, the affirmation is already the process of starting to say your black is beautiful regardless of where it comes from, what shade it is.
Exactly.
And, you know,
and that's important because even within our community we get that.
Well, we have
So
we
we
actually
have to affirm everyone in our community.
The Black Girls League campus where we do, we mentor girls. The girls between 13 and 17, that's like the sweet spot for us. I feel like that's the point where girls are starting to be not under their, they're kind of like stepping away from maybe where their parents left off, and they're kind of being influenced by the world. So we just want to make sure that we are the village that kind of reinforces probably what they've already gotten at home, but they need to understand why it's important, why integrity matters, why work ethic matters, why caring and caring of others and being of service to more than yourself matters. And so those are the things that we try to really instill in our girls.
And so the awards show tomorrow night, 8 o'clock on BET.
Yes.
Tell me the theme, and one of my favorite people is hosting tomorrow.
Yes.
Tell me about tomorrow night's show.
Well, Taraji P. Henson is hosting our show
Cookie.
tomorrow night. Yes. And it's a great thing to see, you know, that we are, you know, Tracy and Regina have held us down for a long time, and Ian Long held us down on the first televised awards. But what people don't know is before we went to television, Tracy, Regina, Taraji, Kerry Washington have all held us down. Wow. So Tracy and Regina have been long time. Regina's been committed the longest, and Tracy also before television. So a lot of the relationships that I have with these women have already been there. And so when I brought it to TV, it was just like, come on, let's go. You know, so it's beautiful, and to see, you know, Taraji did a great job, and you know, it's great to see, you know, all of this magic with all of our hosts, you know what I mean, coming out. And so
what's the theme tomorrow night?
The theme is Black Love is Revolutionary. And
Why did you choose that?
I chose that because I feel that we are in a time where we really need to hold each other close. Yes. It's not just about our love relationships in our connection. It's also our community, our culture, our contributions. So I wanted us to hold each other and keep each other safe as a community, because I think it's really important, especially in a time where we're seeing things that we haven't ever witnessed in my lifetime. My mother has, not at this level of racism that's just kind of been unearthed, and you know, this attack on our lives. And I felt it was just important for us to continue to support each other and come together as a village. And so I wanted to do that with love.
And what are some of the categories that we're going to see tomorrow night? What are some of the entertainers that we'll see on the show?
We have some great entertainers. You know, we're honoring our living legend. This year's Roberta Flack. So we have an incredible tribute by India Ree. We have Anthony Hamilton's performing. We have Tasha Cobb that took us to church. You know, SZA is opening the show. So it's just like, you know, it's a great. Let Us See is, you know, is performing. So it's a great entertainment, but also just the categories of women that we have. We're honoring Yara Shahidi, Solange, Issa Rae. People that you don't know, like Natalie and Derica Wilson, who run the Black and Missing Foundation.
Yes, yeah.
Suzanne Shank, who's the number one
we've had
woman.
Suzanne
here. I saw Suzanne
yes,
there.
Yes, we have honored Suzanne.
Her.
Yes,
oh my God, I love her.
Yeah,
and of
doing
course,
great things on Wall Street.
Yeah, and of course, I said Roberta Flack.
Yeah.
And Maxine Waters. You know,
Auntie Maxine.
Auntie Maxine.
What makes all these women rock? I mean, how do you choose?
They are. I mean, it's. People always say, "How do you choose?" But there's so many women who are out here who are doing incredible things and making incredible contributions to this world. The best way we choose is through category. Okay. So it's just that's the balance of mixing it up in the category, and then it's just a matter of how you know, how are you looking at your landscape this year, this particular year? And I think that, you know, this was like, Maxine Waters has been on my radar for so long, but this year was a perfect year to honor her.
Oh yes,
It's
she's
a
been
perfect
quite
year.
outspoken.
Yeah, she's been incredible. Yeah,
she's in the news extra times this
yeah,
year.
yeah.
You know,
So
for being
it's really
outspoken.
amazing to, you know, be able to bring that all together, and it's always wonderful when it works out, like when scheduling works out and you can actually bring this particular group of people together. So
And I do have to go back to Michelle Obama, because it was 2015, I believe. That how important was it for these young girls to see the First Lady of the United States and what is possible? How important was that?
how important was it to see her proclaiming that Black Girls Rock? I think it was extremely important. I think it was very important for her to not only continue to be this incredible First Lady for everyone, but to also acknowledge that I am a Black girl and I have grown into this, my greater self. And I had to do that with being affirmed. And I know that this affirmation is not just important to me, it's important to you all to grow. And I think that was beautiful that she decided to be on the show. And I knew she wanted to, because I kept hearing it. You know, people were just like kind of throwing the hints at me and saying it. And she was a friend of Miss Lee's. And so, you know, I'd heard years before that she wants to do the show. And I was like, you know what?
Yes.
I know she's going
Before
to do
the
it
8
last
years
term.
was over.
Yeah, I knew it was going to be last term. And I said, she's going to do the show. I knew she was going to do it. And then when they called me and said she wants to do the show, I was like, yes.
What could you say?
And then they were like, well, you know, we'd like for Beverly to introduce her. And I was like,
yes. And you said no. You said no way.
Yes, I would love to do that.
And now you're an author, and you're coming out with a book next spring. It's called Black Girls Rock, Owning Our Magic, Rocking Our Truth.
Yes.
Girl, what is that? Tell me about that.
This is a collection of women's narratives and stories, and there's about 60 women in the book, and they are everyone from Tracee Ellis Ross and people that you know. Angela Davis is in the book, you know, Janelle Monáe, Naomi Campbell, Denai Guerrera, Mary J. Blige. So it's just this great smorgasbord of women who are speaking about their magic and how they have been able to navigate in this world as Black girls, and how they have accomplished and achieved and persevered and, you know, survived and, you know, created magic and rocked. So it's just incredible. And there's plenty of women that you don't know their names, but you'll be so inspired by their stories.
How long has it taken you to write this book? When did you start to think
longer
about
than longer than I expected. Let's say that. You know, the process of putting a book together like this, in particular, was much longer than I expected. And also, you know, you go out for the goal of like 20 women, and you think that you're going to get some no's, so you always cast your net a little wider.
Yes.
And I swear most of these women came back and they were just able and available and ready to do it. And so it was just like, wow, I just have, you know, all of these incredible women, then interviewing them. And I had to interview each person, and then I had to flip that into first person narrative.
Of course.
And so that process has been a great challenge for me. It just pushes me to another level, and I'm just really grateful for it. It's grueling, but it's great. I am so grateful
rewarding.
for it. Yeah, it's very rewarding, and I can't wait for people to really see the book and read it, and just, you know, hear these stories from these women. I think it's going to be something
Inspiring.
that all women and men will be inspired by. Yeah.
Well, Beverly, congratulations, much
Thank you.
success. Tomorrow night, the award show is on BET, Black Girls Rock Award Show, BET at 8 p.m. And catch her book next spring. You got to read it, and you too will be inspired. Beverly, thank you for being a mentor, for being smart, intelligent, wonderful Black woman that you are, for telling young girls that they can do anything, that they can succeed and be anything, and that Black girls are more than enough. And yes, Black Girls Rock.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, sis. Thank you.